Marcus Rashford getting onto the score sheet, but how disappointed will he have been not to have started today?
Yeah, I think you could see that in his celebration. You know, he was fuming. But I think when Glenn makes a point, when two legends of the game are playing ahead of you, it's hard to complain, you know, in the sense. So he's never going to drop Ronaldo. You know, he needed somebody else in there. And Cavani was fabulous last season. Probably deserved to start sooner. And I think coming off the bench, Glenn makes a great point, you know, having Rashford to come off the bench and Greenwood, as much as it will hurt them, maybe right now for the balance of the team, which is the most important thing, they look good today. And I think he could get goals coming off the bench, definitely.
It's great options to have for Ollie, and it's not the worst thing, is it, for Rashford and Greenwood?
No.
I mean, at this stage of their career, to watch these two in action?
They'll want to play. They're footballers. They want to play, but they're going to have to take a little bit of a bench seat, not a back seat, but a bench seat, and learn. Just learn from them. Because in training they'll see how they make movement. Because the proof is in what they do. They put the ball in the back of the net. But even if they, you know, the young men might not finish like them, that Cavani finish and Ronaldo's finish is top. That's world-class finishing. That's Maradona at their best. That's Messi at their best. It's the best of the best, if you like. And we saw that today. And that's what United have got, that in the locker. What's been happening is they've been conceding too many goals. Now they've gone into 3 centre-backs. At times a back 5. They'll get themselves organised. They're going to come under some cosh, like I said. But they'll get that. They'll work that out. They've got 3 centre-backs there. They've got Wan-Bissaka that I think could play in that right-sided centre-back as a 3. I think that's, if they look for a better wing-back in there on the right side, then they would be even more balanced, because Shaw down the left side looks great. It's just the other side, you know, Wan-Bissaka defensively, brilliant. But going with the ball, wing-backs get a lot of the ball in that system.
And finally, Owen, on United, is that a blueprint going forward with those two up top?
Well, I think it has to be, considering the amount of goals that they've conceded. You know, it showed up them defensively. But, you know, the big question is they've got City at Old Trafford on the weekend. You're not going to have much of the ball. You know, you're going to be quite deep. They defend with 7, Bruno, Cavani and Ronaldo. You know, is it going to work against City? You know, we'll see. But I think today is a big step forward.
And we'll hear from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer shortly. But as the pressure on his shoulders has been relieved, pressure continues to mount on this man. It's 5 defeats in 10 in the Premier League. And let's hear from Nuno Espirito Santo now.
Well, Nuno, obviously a very disappointing result. What would you say about the 90 minutes?
Poor performance, bad performance. Not too much words, simply that we didn't play good. Man United was stronger than us.
What was missing then? What was bad about it?
We conceded in a poor way. We lose balls. We allowed counter-attacks. We're not able to really break them. They were organised. 3 centre-halves, difficult. We had a good chance in the beginning, but not well enough.
It's an ongoing theme, isn't it, not being able to break down opponents. Why was it an issue again today against a side that conceded 5 last weekend?
We could not do it. We're not able to find the lines, the combinations, the support when we go wide, to combine a little bit better in the second half, but not enough. The last pass was never there. The finish was never there. So, a bad performance.
Yeah. How do you fix that, Nuno, particularly the creative side?
Trying, supporting the players, finding solutions, working on the training ground. There's no other way. We have to work harder.
How do you get a bit more out of Harry Kane? He's obviously a fantastic player, but seems to be struggling to affect games at the moment.
No, we have to take the best of all our players. Not only about Harry. The focus is not on Harry's. All our players, we have to support them, help them, find solutions and try to make them better. I truly believe that we are better than today.
What can you tell us? I know you didn't want to say too much before the game about the changes you made, but what can you tell us now that the game's done about why you did that?
We did that
two
because
changes.
We tried to improve what was missing. Trying to with Gio, we did a good game against Burnley, really good game. He's in a good momentum. Trying to find the best out of him. With Ben, a little bit more consistency. Unfortunately, it didn't work out.
And what about that substitution early in the second half with Bergwijn replacing Moura? You heard the boos. It didn't get a good reaction within the stadium. Why did you do it?
We did it because we wanted to open the pitch. Tried 1v1s with Stevie to try and break them down with 1v1s instead of too many combinations inside.
Okay, so boos when you made that change, boos at half-time, boos at full-time. What would you say about those supporters, also the supporters that left the stadium? What would you say to them to convince them you're on the right track?
No, we're not on the right track. We totally understand the criticism. It's part of football. When the team doesn't perform, the fans suffer, the fans are not happy, and they show they are not happy. It's up to us to take it, tell them that we try our best, tell them that we are sorry because didn't perform as we wanted, and we keep on trying. We keep on trying and humbly, in a humble way, ask them to support us all the way.
To keep on trying, to work harder. Glenn, what did you make of his interview there?
Well, it's always difficult when you've lost, particularly when you've been outclassed and you're at home in front of your own fans, of course. We've all been there. But no, I didn't like that interview. It was pretty passive. I think he had to come out a little bit more. Hopefully in the week that he'll sit down with his staff and improve on that with the players. What I find difficult is he had his Wolves team playing in a back three, at times a five. So he was saying that United played with the back three today. It was difficult. Well, if you play that system and it works for you, you know what the Achilles heel is as well. And that's where I'm disappointed from Spurs side. He's not gone out and said, right, I know this system, but I know what causes us problems. This is what we're going to do. Didn't see it. No. Not once did I see it. Didn't see overlaps. You try and stretch the back five. The three in midfield were easy. It was all in front of them. They didn't have to go across to the two fullbacks. In the end, they run out of energy and you have an overload against them. So he didn't ask them any questions whatsoever. And number one, he didn't ask his own players to do it. So I'm a little bit worried of the void of tactics against that system. He should know it more than anyone because he played it for 2 or 3 seasons for Wolves. And it worked really well. I've not seen him do that at Tottenham yet. He's not played with the back three like he did at Wolves, with wing-backs. Maybe he feels he hasn't got the players yet. I don't know. But at the end of the day, they've got to find a way of playing. And it's not just with the ball, it's without the ball. So at the moment, they are a ship that's got no rudder. It's just bobbing along in the sea. And it doesn't know where it's going. And that's a concern for me.
When you look at the statistics, it's quite telling. Over the 90 minutes, Glenn, not one shot on target. And that's with the likes of Kane and Son in the 11. They've scored 9 goals from their first 10 games. What's happened to their attack?
Well, it's not just the attack. The attack, look, there's world-class players in that team. When they're on song, you've got Son, you've got Kane, you've got Moura is a good player. You've got offensive players there. They need service. They need a bit of service. And at the moment, they're not getting the service, so they stop running. They stop making movement. And then look how flat that is. You can't create if you've got a straight line like that. It's easy to defend against. And they're offside anyway there. But there's no movement off the angles. They've got to get bodies into the box quicker. Even here, look, Harry just runs out of ideas in the end. He's waiting for support. There is a support ball on. In the end, he's struggling with his game this season. It's got to be said. There's no doubt about that. There's no zip about him at the moment. I don't know where his mind is. There's a void there of midfield players. Again, you see 4 players all within a square there, a box, all looking. And in the end, it's just, because there's no option, somebody just throws the ball in because the crowd are booing. Through the pandemic, there weren't a crowd on your back.
Yeah. That
ball would have been circulated around the back again and out the other side. Whereas suddenly if crowds are on your back, you start doing things that you don't normally do, or you've got to be strong enough not to do it. That's what happens, goes through a pro's mind. But at the end of the day, that ball's thrown in there because he had no options. And that was a lot of players, not just Harry Kane. No one had options on the ball for Tottenham. Whenever there was a white shirt in possession, I didn't see any white shirts movement off the ball. And that's their problem.
Glenn, look at that. in terms of goals scored, Norwich, let's be honest, they've had one of the worst seasons in Premier League ever. They've only scored 9 goals with 2 of the best attacking players in division, Kane and Son. I thought no shots on target today. I thought they were dreadful, Tottenham. I thought they were really, with that quality of player, to play that poorly, no wonder the fans were booing, because Harry Kane's body language, he didn't look like he believed in what they were doing.
How concerned were you from what you saw from Kane today?
Look, he's a fabulous player, one of the best
from today.
But his body language, he didn't believe in what they were doing today. And look, you can have moments where you doubt, but if you're the leader of the team, he's by far their best player. He's got to be leading front and centre. He's got to be, we saw Cavani and Ronaldo. the effort and energy they put into the game. You know, older than Harry. You know, he didn't look like he believed in what they were doing. And that, even if he doesn't believe, because he's the captain, he's got to lead from the front.
Yeah, he has. But that is not just today. That has summed up his performances through this season. Mentally, I think he's distraught that he didn't get his move. But now he stayed at Tottenham. He's got to get his mind. It's at a mental level. He's got to get himself back to his very best. The move didn't happen, but mentally, he looks as if he's plodding. There's no zip about his game, but that can start mentally. If you're up and you motivate yourself, motivation comes from within, number one.
Yeah.
He's always had that since he was a young kid. That's why he's as good as he is. He's lost that. He's now got to look inside himself, and he's got to get that back, and then he's got to work. You know, even if it's not for Tottenham, he wants to do it for England. He's got a World Cup coming around the corner within a year, just over a year. At the end of the day, he's got to play for himself, if nothing else. He's not doing himself any favours doing that. He is a wonderful, wonderful player. But he's got to get his mind right, and then hopefully everyone else around him has got to start playing better. I think he gets frustrated. He makes movement, and when the ball doesn't come, and then what does he do then? It doesn't come. I'm not going to run anymore. And that's both sides of the game then go out the window. So he's got a big problem.
It's a big challenge as well for Nuno to get that fire back in his belly. So for Harry Kane, his frustration continues this campaign. No doubt for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, his overriding emotion this evening will be one of huge relief. Let's hear from the man now.
Ole, congratulations. A change of formation and a completely changed feeling about the performance.
Yeah, of course, when you come off the pitch, winning 3-0, keeping the ball away from our goal. David didn't have a save to make. That's pleasing. But then that's football. Sometimes it goes for you, sometimes against you. And we'd worked on this week. The boys have been brilliant. They've took it on board, and it worked today.
The back three. I mean, how important to have Rafa Varane in a three?
He's an absolute top player, of course, and he reads the game well. He's quick. He's so experienced. So, of course, to get him back fit is massive for us.
You talked last weekend, or well, every manager talks every week about finishing. The quality of finishing today. I mean, absolutely outstanding. All three goals. Yeah,
great goals, all of them. Of course, the first one is the major one. What a pass from Bruno, and you know Cristiano is the best. You can't fault. You know, if he misses one, he's still as focused for the next one. And what a goal! What a goal! If he's not up there when all these votes are coming, I don't know.
And you showed several times in the second half. Again, what a very dangerous counter-attacking side Manchester United are.
Yeah, you know we've built this performance on hard work, discipline, keeping the ball away from our goal, and then spaces will open up, especially if you get the first goal. So that's the first goal always decides how the game goes.
There's always somebody feeling the heat in the Premier League, and you know there's 20 managers and the pressure's on all of them. It kind of goes around. I mean, you've had a terrible week, I would think, and now hopefully you're in for a better one.
Yeah, you know we've got a hard week ahead of us. We've got Champions League game, and then you got City. So now you've got to digest this one and then make sure we're ready for Tuesday, because that's a difficult one as well.
Does this kind of draw a line under that Liverpool result last week?
No,
do you think?
Of course it doesn't. That's always going to be in the history books. It's going to be one of the darkest days any of us involved in, and it's going to feel like a dark spot on our CV, of course. But football becomes history so quick. You've got to look forward. You've got to make sure you're ready for the next one.
Just finally, you picked, I believe, the oldest starting 11 you've picked as a Manchester United manager. Obviously, you've got some fantastic kids. We all know that. We know their qualities. But for this day, given the circumstances, was that key?
I think so, yeah. The experience of Eddie and Cristiano up there, that's massive, of course. Rafa coming in. We needed, because we can't hide. The week has been difficult for all the players as well. And they really stuck at it, and experience always they count in situations like this.
How quickly things change. Look at that, Manchester United up to 5th in the table. They may have played a game more than West Ham, just above them. But City have also played 10, and they're only 3 points behind them. Crisis? What crisis in the end, Owen?
Well, look, Ole's good under pressure. When the team's under pressure, when he's under pressure, he seems to find a way to get a result. I mean, we saw that earlier this season with Arsenal, Mikel Arteta. You know, everybody was calling for his head. Now they're in a position, I think they're 5th. So it goes quickly, especially early on in the season. If you can string a couple of results together, you put yourself in a good position. But I think for United, defensively was the biggest issue. Before this game, they conceded 15 goals. You know, one of the worst defences in the league. He tidied that up today. Played another centre-back with Varane, Lindelof and Maguire, with wing-backs, played 2 centre-forwards. He needed to change something, and he did, and it came off. Clean sheet, scored 3. So I think for Ole, there's a lot of positives there, and it's something to build on. But obviously, the Liverpool game left a lot of doubts about a lot of things.
Where does Pogba fit in when he returns from suspension?
Well, that is a good question. As I said, he's made more assists than anyone else in the Premier League, which is surprising. So-called not playing so well, but I personally think there's certain games you could play Fernandes and Pogba. I'd like to see them playing there together. I think they've got the ammunition. Man United have got a squad there. You look at it, they've got the ammunition to really go for it and challenge at the moment Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City. That's why this league this year particularly looks like it's going to come from any of those 4 or 5 teams can win this.
Yeah.
Not just getting the Champions League spots, actually go and win it.
Yeah.
And because it's been that inconsistent.
But Solskjaer's not out of the woods yet, of course.
No.
But can he play this way against Atalanta and City with similar success?
Well, I think he will in Europe, yeah. I think it will suit him. Owen touched on it. Against City, it's a one-off game. Maybe he's got to just tinker. I think he'll play with a 5 at back. I don't think he'll go away from that. It's what he does in front of there tactically for City game. Don't forget, City have just lost at home against Palace. So they're meeting them at a decent time.
Yeah, or possibly the wrong time if they've got a point to prove.